Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about the missing link to perfect wrist conditions. Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about a missing link to perfect wrist conditions. Now, before we do, I'm excited to tell you guys we are going to partner with Hold 19. Okay, so it's an app. A couple things that it does that I think are really cool. Number one, a lot of you guys are going to like that you can book tee times on the app. So there's going to be special deals and promos within the app to book tee times. They have a built-in GPS that you can use when you play golf. And some of you guys have GPS, some of you don't. You should all have a GPS. You can use it right in the app. You can track your stats and track your improvement over time, which you guys know I like feedback, so that's a big one. I like that in there. They have a cool social environment there that we're going to be posting some videos, some content specific to their audience. I want you guys to check that out. They were nice enough to offer you guys all a 30% discount off your first subscription on any plan on their site. The promo code is Cogorno30, my last name Cogorno 30. All of that will be in the description down below. If you guys do want to check out Hold 19, I would urge you to do so. Now, beyond that, let's talk about the missing link to wrist conditions. You guys know that wrist conditions in your golf swing I talk about all the time as a humongous part to playing good golf, right? Now, what I found is some of you guys are sending me messages that, hey, I'm having a hard time getting certain wrist conditions. And what I want you to understand is there's another component to that, okay? So when I'm talking about wrist conditions and I'm saying, hey, with your lead wrist, let's say as a left-handed golfer, do we want that to be flat or bowed or flexed or cupped or extended? I know a lot of you guys know, hey, at the top of my swing, when I go up here, I have a cup in my left wrist and that's bad. Or hey, it cups when I come down and that's also bad. And you might be trying to really flex that left wrist, or you've seen some of our other videos in the right wrist, and you're really trying to bend that right wrist back to square that club face up, but you're not able to. What I want you guys to understand is that there's another half of this deal, and that is your grip. We've done some things before about how grip matches release patterns, but I also want to talk about how your grip goes along with your wrist conditions. And what I mean by that is this. If you have a cupped left wrist at any point in your swing, and you have not been able to fix it for whatever reason, it may very well be a lot easier for you to just strengthen your grip and leave the cupped wrist alone, right? And then vice versa for the other side of it. When we talk about a cupped wrist and why it's so bad, the overall main functionality that we don't like out of a left wrist that gets too cupped at the top is a club face that gets too open. The main problem of a cupped lead wrist is a club face that gets too open. Well, what happens if I take my left hand grip and I just make it stronger, turned more clockwise on the club? What problem does that fix? You guessed it, it fixes an open club face. You are allowed to have a cupped left wrist throughout your swing if, and probably only if, you have a strong left-hand grip. So if you've been trying to fix that forever and you can't do it, look at this as an option. Let me explain why this works. If I take a normal left-hand grip, let's say kind of V's to my right collarbone, and I make a backswing, you know, we know that checkpoints for my backswing, when I do my little takeaway, is going to be the toe slightly tilted down. And we know at the top, I want that club kind of more or less parallel to my forearm. Now, when I make a backswing with a neutral grip and I cup my left wrist early, we see that opens the face here too much. If I cup it too much at the top, that's going to open my face as well. And if I have it cupped in transition, that's not only going to have the club face open, but it's also going to be too steep during the downswing. So when we see that, we say, hey, you have a wrist condition problem. You need to fix that. And I would rather you start with that option. I would rather you say, hey, no problem. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to keep my grip the same. I'm going to flatten out my left wrist. I'm going to flatten out or bow my left wrist. I'm going to flatten it more in transition, and that will match up. If you're unable to do that, like, man, I'm really trying to crank that thing that's not working, that's okay. If we just turn our grip, I'm moving around a lot here. If we just turn our grip over and I make the same backswing motion where I cup a little, notice that club face is still perfectly square there. Notice at the top, club face still square with my cupped wrist. Even if I keep it cupped during the downswing, the face is still tilted down. When I look at individually, and I think us golf coaches, what your wrist conditions or club face should be, it's really based on where the club face is in space and the pitch of the shaft. So when I do my takeaway, I like to see the club face slightly tilted down like this. If I have a weak left hand grip, which is my hand is turned too far counterclockwise on the club, how I'm gonna have a square club face with a really weak left hand grip is really only gonna happen is if I flex or bow my left wrist a bunch. So from face on, that would look like here, here, and here. So I need to flex that a lot just to get the club face square. Weak left hand grip, really curled under to keep it square. Right, if I did a normal takeaway with a left hand grip, that would be wide open. So really curled under. I have to curl it under a lot to keep it square at the top, and I have to curl it under just to keep it square coming down. So weak left hand grip needs a lot of bow. If you're unable to get the club face square with that weak grip, you either have to add more bow or strengthen the grip. Are there other micro movements involved? Of course there are. For the scope of this conversation, we're just focusing on those two. If I have a neutral grip, which is V to the right collarbone like I mentioned, then I just can have normal flat left wrist everywhere. Normal flat left wrist, normal flat, normal flat. But if I have that strong grip, like I said, then it's okay to have that cup in there. So that's the point of what I want to get across in this video is as much as we talk wrist conditions, and I want you guys to start there. Wrist conditions, again, main contributor. We're going to determine what your club face is doing. Going to have a big change in your shaft pitch in transition. Now, if you go the stronger grip route, like so, and you have some cup and you leave the cup in there, are you going to maybe have a little bit of a steeper downswing angle from there? Probably so. That probably is not going to match with you laying the shaft down behind you because your left wrist is going to be cupped. So that's the point of this. You can hit balls, and I can hit balls with all of these combinations. I can take a weak grip like this, and I can curl under, keep it bowed and keep it bowed, and I can hit some shots and make that pattern work. Right? I can do that, and that's fine. I can do a neutral grip, like so, V about to my collarbone, and this will just be flat left wrist everywhere, and I can make that pattern work. Or I can do that strong grip. And I know with the strong grip, now it's okay for me to have a little bit of a cup in there, right? So here's my strong grip pattern and a little bit of a cup all the way through. And I can make that work. And if you watch our previous videos, you know my grip is also gonna have a correlation to how much I rotate my arm. The short version of what we talked about is weaker grip, more arm rotation, stronger grip, less arm rotation. So guys, with all of these things, there's other components to this, but these are main things to think about. What I want to get across is I know for sure some of you guys watching this have been trying to do your wrist conditions better and it's not working, and it's because you physically are not able to do it. And if you just change your grip, that will work. So hope that all makes sense. If you guys have any questions about that, just let me know. One other quick reminder before I wrap this up and you guys get the exit stuff. We are going live on every Thursday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes we're gonna have set topics, sometimes not. We're gonna be announcing a lot of cool giveaways and different partnerships this year, but check mark that or block that out of your calendar, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. Hey guys, if you liked today's video, please do me a favor, click the like button down below, click the notification bell if you haven't, also please subscribe if you haven't. If you guys do want more instruction from me tailored for you, go ahead and check out cogornogolf.com. The link will be in the description down below. Thank you guys.